My family mocked my crypto investment and cut me off, so I bought their business and made them. My name is Kai, and 6 months ago, my family thought I had lost my mind. I had always been the tech guy, the one who saw the world through lines of code and believed in the future of digital assets. While they built a stable life in our small town, I was looking at the horizon. So, when I discovered a groundbreaking, eco-friendly blockchain project called Viridian Nexus, I knew it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I sold my car, liquidated my stock portfolio, and invested every single dollar I had, $2.5 million, into its native token, VNX. When my family found out, the intervention was brutal. We were at my parents' house for Sunday dinner when my father demanded to know why I'd sold my reliable Toyota. I said, I reinvested it, Dad, into a cryptocurrency called VNX. It's the future. My older brother, Liam, burst out laughing. Liam said, Crypto? You mean that internet money for drug dealers and gamblers? You threw away a $250,000 portfolio for a meme? My mother started crying. My mother said, Kai, we didn't raise you to be a speculator. Your grandfather built this family's business with real sweat, not with computer clicks. My sister, Chloe, was the coldest. Chloe said, You've always been irresponsible, Kai. But this is a new level of stupid. You're going to end up bankrupt and crawling back to us for help. Don't bother. We won't be there. They voted, right there at the dinner table. They cut ties with me. My father said I was an embarrassment to the family name. They blocked my number. For months, there was only silence. I was completely alone, living in a small apartment, surviving on freelance coding jobs, my entire future riding on a digital asset they called a scam. Then, one morning, it happened. I woke up to a barrage of news alerts. A major global tech consortium had announced the adoption of the Viridian Nexus blockchain as its universal standard. The price of VNX was skyrocketing in real time. With trembling hands, I opened my exchange app. The numbers on the screen didn't make sense. I refreshed the page. Then again, my heart hammered against my ribs and the room started to spin. My $2.5 million investment was now worth over $50 billion. I was, unofficially, the youngest crypto billionaire in the country. I didn't scream or cheer. I sat on the floor of my apartment and cried, a silent release of 6 months of pain, doubt, and isolation. But my triumph was bittersweet. The people who should have been celebrating with me had abandoned me. So, I decided to show them the future they had so carelessly mocked. I didn't tell a soul. I worked through my lawyers and a private wealth manager. My first call was to a corporate intelligence firm. I wanted to know everything about my family's pride and joy. Shaw and Sons Manufacturing, the business my grandfather founded and my father now ran. I discovered it was struggling, burdened by debt and outdated practices. They were secretly looking for a bailout. I became that bailout. Through a series of anonymous shell corporations, my team began quietly purchasing the company's debt. Then, we started buying up shares from silent partners and on the open market. Within 3 weeks, I owned 51% of Shaw & Sons. I was now the majority shareholder, their secret boss. Next, I bought the most extravagant penthouse in the city, a $10 million triplex with a rooftop infinity pool and panoramic views. Only then did I break my silence. I had my lawyer send a formal engraved invitation to my entire family, requesting their presence at a family reconciliation dinner at my new address. The night they arrived, the look on their faces was priceless. Their jaws were on the floor as the private elevator opened into my living room. They were dressed in their best, but they looked small and shabby against the backdrop of my success. Liam said, Kai, what is this? Are you the security? I smiled, holding a glass of champagne. I said, Welcome to my home. I'm glad you could all make it. My father, ever the pragmatist, finally asked the question burning in all their minds. My father said, Son, how? How did you afford all of this? Did you get a job? I said, No, Dad, I didn't get a job. I just checked my crypto investment. The color drained from their faces. Chloe looked like she was going to be sick. I led them to the dining room where a large screen was set up. With a click of a remote, I displayed a simple presentation. I said, "You all told me I was throwing my life away, but while you were doubting me, I was building an empire. And the first thing I built was a safety net for our family's legacy." The screen showed the corporate structure of Shaw & Sons. I highlighted the majority shareholder, Kairos Holdings, my investment vehicle. My father stumbled back, grabbing the table for support. My father said, "Kairos, that's you? You own my company." I said, "I saved your company, Dad. You were weeks from bankruptcy. I own the debt. I own the majority stake. I now sign your paychecks." The silence was heavier than any argument we'd ever had. The shame in their eyes was a more powerful victory than any amount of money. They had to sit at my table, eating food paid for by the internet money they mocked, knowing their own livelihoods were now a gift from the son they called irresponsible and stupid. I didn't fire them. I didn't gloat further. I simply let the truth of their terrible judgment hang in the air between us. That was the lesson. That was the regret. But their shame quickly turned into a new kind of greed. Now that they knew I was a billionaire, they began to see me not as family, but as a wallet. Their attempts to manipulate me, to get control of my wealth, and the secret alliances they formed behind my back led to a final, explosive confrontation that redefined the meaning of family forever. If you want to see how I dealt with their newfound avarice, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tap the notification bell because the battle for my fortune was just beginning. My fortune was just beginning.